Big performances from small guards in the eastern side of the NBA Cup semifinals are set. We'll talk about it right now on Locked On NBA Game Night.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
Welcome back to the Locked On NBA Game Night podcast. Thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday. I am John Karalis. I'm usually here on Wednesdays, joined by Danny Cunningham, who has been here on Wednesdays recently, filling in for Jake Madison, who will be back next Wednesday. So
allegedly,
we'll
maybe I'll be here. Maybe I'll just show up.
You could listen. You can have my shot. You can slide into this side if you want to keep it going, keep your streak going. That's fine with me. But I've seen a picture from where Jake is on his honeymoon, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't come back because he's a very beautiful part of the world. So good luck. Congratulations to him, and hope he enjoys it. Congratulations to the Orlando Magic and the New York Knicks, who are on their way to the NBA Emirates Cup semis. We'll talk about those later on in the third segment. We'll get to a Wednesday preview of the Western Conference games. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Thank you for being an everydayer, joining us every Monday through Friday. Well, actually, no, this is the 7-day-a-week show, so it's 7 days a week, covering every game in the association. Show's free. It's available everywhere. It's on YouTube. Danny, the Orlando Magic spotted the Miami Heat a 16-point lead and turned right around behind Desmond Bane and just rolled them, I say. Why don't we get the Orlando side of things from Philip Rossman-Reich of Locked On Magic?
This is Philip Rossman-Reich, the host of Locked On Magic from the Kia Center, as the Orlando Magic are headed to Las Vegas, defeating the Miami Heat 117-108. This game did not start out the way anybody wanted it to. A 15-0 Miami run. Orlando looked pretty lost offensively, couldn't slow down the Heat at all, but this is who the Magic are. They are a strong defensive team. They are going to slow you down. They're going to get into you. They're going to bother you defensively, and that eventually got the Magic into the game, back into the game. What won it for them was Desmond Bane. 37 points, a season high, tying 37. Made 6 of 9 from 3. A humongous performance. This is exactly why you bring in a player like Desmond Bane. Look, it's the NBA Cup. It's not the NBA playoffs. It's not as big as the games that are going to come in the spring. But the Orlando Magic continue to announce themselves using this cup as a factor in the bigger picture of the NBA. And now they have a chance to win some hardware on the floor in Las Vegas.
All right. Well, whoops. Sorry.
That was outstanding. That was outstanding. That was one of the, I venture to say that is one of the best shorts the show has ever gotten. Bravo from PRR.
That is, yeah, absolutely the best. And we didn't get one from Miami. We didn't need one from Miami. That covered enough from both sides of things. And it was Desmond Bane with the 37 points, just taking over in the fourth quarter. On the Miami side, 4-game losing streak for Miami. There's a pair of 4-game losing streaks on the losing side of these games here. Miami can't shoot, can't hit anything. They came out super, super hot, and then it just all fell apart. If they're not going to be hitting threes, then they're just not going to be scoring a lot of points. And I think that's what it boils down to for the Miami Heat. Their offense has been what everybody's been talking about, and it's fun, it's exciting, but when they don't have anybody to pick on, they don't have anybody to kind of like overreact to all of the craziness that they're throwing out there. When you face a good defensive team, a lot of stuff that they're trying doesn't work, and then you have to rely on individual performances and shooting, and the shooting fails you at the same time. It's a recipe for disaster for Miami.
Right. That's absolutely the thing that I look at. When I look at a team in Orlando that hits 47% of its threes, they went 15 of 32. For Miami, they only go 8 of 33. Like, that tells the story in this game, because it's not as if there was some crazy advantage that Orlando had in these other areas, right? Like, you typically will in these games, like, okay, well, did one team create a lot of second chance opportunities, right? Like, what does the offensive rebounding side of things look like? Both teams had 7 offensive rebounds. It's not like this was second chance points. The Magic just buried them there. If anything, Miami did a great job of creating turnovers. Orlando turned over 16 times in this game compared to just 8 for Miami. But as you know, John, living in Boston, covering the Celtics, the three-pointer is not only, I think, at this point, the great equalizer, but something even beyond that, to where you can just win a game because a guy like Desmond Bane goes 6 of 9 from 3, and you get other contributions like Paolo Banchero hitting a couple, Wendell Carter hits a couple, Jalen Suggs hits a couple, Tristan Da Silva hits a couple off the bench. Like, they had enough shooting to win this game, and ultimately, I think that was the biggest difference. And they did a good job on the boards because they didn't allow Miami to collect offensive rebounds, which is something that could have turned this game. But I also was impressed with the way Orlando responded, right? Because Miami got off that big lead. They were up 30-17 after the first quarter, and Orlando responded the right way. And that, to me, like, shooting's going to come and go, but having that mindset, I think, is a really good sign.
So Miami's up 20-4, and I love to think that there are clutch moments throughout the game, right? And it's not just fourth quarter that we typically think of as clutch. So Up 20-4, this is an opportunity for Miami to kind of really put some pressure on Orlando. Orlando doesn't have a high-powered offense. They put up 117 points, but it's not the best offense in the world. If you start to pile up a lead, then all of a sudden things start to the pressure's on there. But at 20-4, Davion Mitchell throws a cross-court pass that gets picked off, and Jalen Suggs goes in. He was hobbled. By the way, side note, Jalen Suggs playing on whatever hip, groin, whatever thing that he was dealing with, he was really good despite that. But he gets that steal. I think that was the play that it happened on, and goes in, gets a free throw. Next play down, Wiggins gets swallowed up at the rim. Orlando comes down in transition. They're outnumbered because Wiggins is still way back there. Anthony Black misses a layup, but gets his own putback with the dunk. And all of a sudden it's a 13-point game, and you're not even halfway through the first quarter. So you take a big haymaker. When you're Orlando, you take a big haymaker from the Heat. You make a couple of plays, and suddenly it's like, hey, it's only a 13-point game. We've got 3.5 quarters to go. Not a big deal. Whereas if they take care of the ball, they finish plays, and instead of it being, a 13-point game, Miami scores and it's a 22, 23, 24-point game. Now you start to press a little bit from the Orlando side, and it's just that little thing. Yeah, Desmond Bane got hot, and he might have gotten hot, and maybe they still would have won this game in this hypothetical. But when you press a little bit as a shooter, things just get a little tight. The ball comes off your hand a little bit differently. Maybe they start missing a few shots early. The lead in the first quarter is a little bit different. They start defending Miami a little bit differently. It changes the entire complexion of this game. At least it would have been maybe a little bit closer. So I think that first quarter stretch, like you said, the response was critical there because that set the tone. Like, okay, yep, boom, you hit us in the face. We didn't go down. Now what are you going to do? And once Orlando started responding and hitting shots, the Heat, they could look. They're shooting 28%. They've lost 4 in a row. They're shooting 28% from 3 in those 4 games. They're 34.5% over their last 10. They can't hit shots. They've gone cold. Tyler Hero can't hit shots. He missed all 6 3-pointers. So it turned around and it ended up being like Miami going, oh no. We hit them with everything, and it felt like they are the ones that got tight.
Right, and I do think there's a big difference to your point. When they're down 20-4 and they're down by 16 and they go on that little mini run, like it's not a game-winning type of thing, but you can, it's similar to, like, have you heard that phrase in baseball? You can't win the division in April, but you can lose the division in April.
Yeah.
You can't win a game in the first quarter, but you can lose a game in the first quarter in the NBA. And I kind of think that's what this is. Because they're down after the first quarter, 30-17, and it very obviously could have been worse. But a 13-point deficit in today's NBA at any point in the first half is not like some death sentence for a game, right? Like we see on a nightly basis a team that come back from down 15 points or more, especially when that deficit's in the first half. So the fact that they didn't let it get bigger than what it was, I think is one of the winning points of that game, right? Like they got the stops when they needed to. And I love the point of clutch things can happen at various times in the game. Like we all refer to clutch time as what? 5-point game in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter or overtime. That to me, I agree with you, is not the way that we should look at it. Like that was a clutch play by Jalen Suggs. The Magic had some clutch stops in the first quarter. They got some clutch buckets in the first quarter because these games, especially when they are like, I'm not going to call this a playoff game, even as great as that short was and how much of an environment that was, how great that was in that short. This was not a playoff game, but it also wasn't a regular season game in terms of like pressure either. So like, I do think it matters in those situations because you can tighten up so much more when that game means a little bit more than just a random Tuesday night in December.
So, all right, let's, my final thought on the Orlando Magic is I'm impressed that they came away. I know Miami is struggling and maybe they're coming back down to earth. No Franz Wagner. Paolo Banchero didn't exactly have the best game in the world. He's still working himself back in. Desmond Bane was great, and Jalen Suggs was great. They got, some nice performances. De Silva, Batadze had a little stretch there where he was pretty good. Little bits here and there where, Wendell Carter Jr. had a nice stretch. He finished with 14 points, 10 rebounds. But without their two main stars, Desmond Bane, I guess, I don't know where you rank all three of these guys, but for them to ride Bane without Wagner there, with Banchero kind of not being himself, that to me, any kind of win you can get like that is impressive to me. So Locked On Magic has more. Locked On Heat is struggling right now. They are on the struggle bus right now because they're like talking about, should you bench Tyler Hero? Should, do we need, what kind of moves you need to make? They want to make big swings for Giannis and all of that stuff. So go check out those podcasts for much more. When we come back, Jalen Brunson, the other small guard, goes for 35. The Knicks kind of just cruise past the Toronto Raptors, who are also struggling. We'll talk about all of that when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by Mint Mobile. There's no reason to let big wireless drain your wallet, especially during the holidays. Right now, Mint Mobile is running their best deal of the year. All of their unlimited plans are 50% off. That means you can lock in 3, 6, or even 12 months of unlimited premium wireless for just $15 a month. It's the easiest way to take your overpriced phone bill and give it the full Scrooge treatment. And now what makes that better is how simple Mint makes it to switch. No contracts, no nonsense, just real savings, real quality service. Switching to Mint allows you to keep your same coverage for a lower price. Setting up only takes a few minutes. You bring your number, you bring your phone, no issues, super fast and reliable, even on the go, and it just feels good knowing you're not overpaying. Turn your expensive wireless present into a huge wireless savings future by switching to Mint. See what they did there? Shop Mint Unlimited plans at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. That's mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. This is a limited time offer. Upfront payments of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Required, that is $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees, initial plan term only. Greater than 35 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com for more details. Thank you for making a Locked On NBA Game Night your first listen. Hey, we have this cool new thing called the Everydayer Club. Level up, go ad-free, join the Everydayer Club right now with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more for $5 a month or $50 a year to get this show for free. Ad-free. It's $5 a month. Go to LockedOnNBA.supercast.com. LockedOnNBA.supercast.com. $5 a month. You go ad-free. $5 a month or $50 for the year. Okay, the New York Knicks get the big win over the Toronto Raptors. They were 117-101 winners. The winners both scored 117 points in this. Is that right? Yeah, look at this.
That is correct. Yes.
Look at the synergy between these two. I thought I had a little typo in my, but no. 117.
No, you are right, John Karalis, for
117 points by the winners, and the losers are each on 4-game losing streaks. I mean, come on.
It's the same story. We could just replay the first segment and change
Go
some
back
names.
and just let's do it, and we'll just dub over the.
Every time they say Desmond Bane, I'll just say Jalen Brunson.
Same thing. Same guy, basically. Brunson scored 35. Josh Hart, more than Brunson's 35, because he's going to do that. Josh Hart from 3 this season has been incredible. He 4 of 7 in this game. The whole plan, the whole way you beat the Knicks, you stick your center on Josh Hart, and then you use him to help, and that is supposed to lead to a bunch of misses from Josh Hart, kind of bogged down there. No, he's hitting these 3-pointers, and it's killing the other team, even though Karl Anthony Towns, 14 points, 4 of 11, not a great overall game, although second quarter Karl Anthony Towns was really good. It's Josh Hart that steps up and supports Jalen Brunson, and the Raptors just never could get it going after the first quarter.
Right. They got off to a good start. They were able to take momentum early, but it felt like everything they were getting in that first quarter was kind of tough, right? And even though they scored 39 points in the first quarter, it felt like they had to work pretty hard to get those points. And New York only scored 35 in that quarter, but it didn't feel like Jalen Brunson was working as hard, because I believe he had 20 of his 35 in that first quarter. He was awesome to start this game. And I'm glad you brought up Josh Hart too, because he was obviously dealing with that finger issue earlier in the season, and I'm not sure where that stands right now. But for somebody who really couldn't feel the finger on his shooting hand to go out there and make 4 threes, like, that is how teams are going to defend the Knicks. That's how they should defend the Knicks. That's a strategy I would want to use. But Josh Hart's a good player that's capable of beating teams, even if he's not making threes. Like, he's capable of still having an impact. But I think when he is making threes like this, the Knicks are going to be really tough to beat, man.
Listen, if Josh Hart is ever sitting there saying, oh, you know what, my finger feels better, someone on the Knicks staff is going to be coming around with a hammer. But they're like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Boom. Go out. Like,
can you feel this?
Yeah, feel this. Oh, man. Go out there and hit 4 of 7. Like, whatever. Don't fix that finger. Whatever that is, don't fix it. Yeah, well, Josh Hart, yeah, he's going to go out there and he's going to grab rebounds, right? He's going to offensive rebound. And the Knicks did a good job of that. Second chance points were a big part of this. After the first quarter, it just all fell apart for the Raptors. The only plus side for the Raptors, 2 things. You had Jamal Shed, who had a career high and has been playing really well, and the dancing baby in the stands was really
so good.
That was that might have been baby first, and then Jamal Shed's performance second. In fact, let's go to Sean Woodley.
I think the baby had the best performance of anyone in a Raptors uniform.
I think so,
had on
too.
a Raptors jersey. I think it was a little Scotty Barnes jersey. I think the Raptors baby had the best performance of anyone in a Raptors jersey on Tuesday night.
It's all about the small guards today, and that was a small baby, so he fits right in.
Yes.
Let's see what Sean Woodley from Locked On Raptors has to say.
The Cup dream is over for the Toronto Raptors, and now they get a much-needed rest. The Raptors fall in the quarters at home to the New York Knicks, who are a very good team, by the way. And it really came down to the second quarter. The Raptors started this game awesome. It was a 39-35 Raptors lead after 1. Brandon Ingram going toe-to-toe with Jalen Brunson, 17 for Ingram, 20 for Brunson in the first quarter. Seemed like an excellent game was in the making, and then the Knicks happened, and the Raptors offense completely fell apart in the second quarter. A 34-13 second quarter for the Knicks basically put this one away. The Raptors found some stuff in the second half. They benched Jakob Poeltl, who had a miserable game, played a sort of switchy, smaller lineup with Colin Murray-Boyles at the 5, had some stretches of good defense and figured things out on the offensive end. Brandon Ingram was fantastic, but just not enough to get over the finish line in this game with no Emmanuel Quickley, no RJ Barrett. Having a few guys who were just kind of unplayable made this a really tough game to string 48 good minutes together. The Raptors now rest until Monday. They've played 7 games in the last 11 days. They've lost 6 of those games. They badly need some time to rest, recuperate, figure some stuff out, as it's been a bit of a rough go here for the Raptors as their NBA Cup dream falls apart. They're not going to Vegas. The Knicks are, and man, oh man, the Knicks are awesome.
All right. The Knicks are, look, they were playing great basketball.
Yeah.
And if you're getting, like I said, if you're getting that shooting from Josh Hart, and then now you have nowhere to help off of, and you got no answer for Jalen Brunson. Like, they blitzed them. Every time they blitzed Brunson, he, would give it up, and someone in the corner would hit a three. You didn't need Karl Anthony Towns to be awesome outside of the second quarter, where he was a plus 22 in the second quarter, 7 points, 8 rebounds. It was, the Knicks are the Knicks. The Knicks are a good team. They're expected to be at the top of the standings. If there's one thing this year in the East that, if you look at the standings, like, we expected this, New York Knicks as the second seed is it. We didn't expect the Pistons at number 1. We didn't expect the Celtics at number 3. Okay, the Magic at 4. All right. The Raptors at 5. No. Everything else kind of like, nah, not really. Not the way it's been going anyway. The Raptors are fading fast, right? Last week, I don't know if it was our show that we were talking about this. That was that the LeBron give it up game winner? No, it was the next night. LeBron gave it up to Rui Hachimura for the corner 3 to beat the Raptors. And at that point, the Raptors were, if they had won that game, they would have been second in the East. Now they've lost 4 in a row, all at home. They're sitting there in 5th and a half game. Like, their next loss, if they lose their next game, they'll be down in the play-in tournament. It's falling apart quickly for Toronto.
Right. And I look at this. I have not been a believer in the Raptors, and I've watched them beat the Cavs in person 3 times. And I just really don't think they've got the guy. I think they have a couple of guys that are really good, right? Brandon Ingram, awesome. Scotty Barnes having a fantastic year. They don't have like that star player though. And I think it's hard to survive super long when you don't have that star player. Like, they didn't have Emmanuel Quickley in this game. Have to be fair. Didn't have RJ Barrett in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys certainly matter. But I look at what they've done so far this season. They are 6-7 in their games against teams that are either at or above 500. And of those 6 wins, 3 of them came against a Cavs team that had no semblance of its starting lineup. The Cavs were actually fined recently for not playing starters against the Toronto Raptors in a game that the Raptors won. So I just look at this and say that 15-11 record feels a little bit fraudulent to me. I'm not saying that they're not a solid team, but I would caution those that think the Raptors are a lock to be out of the play-in this year.
Well, we'll see how this falls. So that's your East. Your Eastern Cup semifinals is New York against Orlando. Who will do it in the West? They play on Wednesday night. Let's give a little preview of the Wednesday night NBA Cup action when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. The World Cup is coming to North America, for the first time since 1994. We love talking about cups and winning cups. And you can go watch the World Cup. There are 48 teams for the first time ever. It's going to be a massive event. Getting tickets? Good luck. No. Yeah, you got Game Time. Never mind good luck. You got Game Time. It's clutch. It's going to give you a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time. You get alerts when great seats open up. Buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. Pull up the app. The layout makes it very simple to scroll through matchups and compare seat views. If you're going, there's a good chance you're going to an arena, a field, a stadium that you've never been to. They're going to give you the seat view so you can literally see what the pitch looks like from your exact seat before you buy. You can pick a game, tap the section, Get your tickets locked in within minutes. No confusion. The prices that you see are upfront. No surprise fees at checkout. So take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, concert, or event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKDOWNNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, use the code LOCKDOWNNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Game Time. Hey, thanks for making Locked On NBA Game Night your first listen. You got to go check out Locked On Heat, Locked On Magic, Locked On Knicks, Locked On Raptors for everything that happened in this game. Also, we've got games coming up on Wednesday night. Locked On Suns, Locked On Thunder, Locked On Spurs, Locked On Lakers are going to have their full previews coming up. But let's take a quick look ahead, starting with the Suns and the Thunder. The Thunder at 23-1 and going on a pace to just be the absolute best team ever by a mile. They have to lose sometime, right?
I mean, one would think, but they have lost once already. Do they have to lose a second time? Is that how this is going to go? No, I mean,
assume so.
With how well the Suns have played lately, I would feel actually good about them in this matchup if they had Devin Booker. If Devin Booker were not injured, this would be a different story. But considering Devin Booker's injury that he suffered, I believe, around the time they played OKC last, and they played him very tough, like that, I just think makes this really, really difficult to handle. I mean, the Thunder are so good. They're so good. The question I have, because they are my pick to win this, they're my pick to win everything all the time. Like, I'm just going to pick them to win every game they play the rest of the year because I'll be right far more often than I'll be wrong. Let's say they finish because the championship game, John, does not count in the NBA standings.
That's right.
Let's say they finish 73-9, but win the NBA Cup title. So they do technically, they play 83 games and they win a 74th. Does that cement them as the best regular season team ever?
Well, I mean, if you win the cup, it's got to be the tiebreaker, right? Because
I would think
Chicago Bulls never won the cup.
Game. Where's Michael Jordan's cup trophies?
He's never won the cup.
Larry Bird never won the cup.
Never won the cup. So, that's got to be the tiebreaker. Listen, that's a good question because the other teams never had the opportunity to play the extra game and say, well, we are also kind of I would say the official number is the official number. And so the cup game wouldn't count. So I would not give them that tiebreaker, especially because I'm not so sure how long this NBA Cup is going to last, and people are going to forget that it existed. And when we're long gone, people are going to be like, "No, they were a 73-win team." They're like, "Hey, wasn't that a cup thing? Oh, remember the cup that they did?" Like, "Oh yeah."
You can't find it on Basketball Reference anywhere.
Yeah, the stat doesn't exist anywhere.
Just like the play-in.
Yeah, right. So no, it's weird. I look, if you play the extra game, you win it. I don't know. If you want to call it that, if you want to say that makes them the best, then sure, I guess. But it's a funny scenario. They gotta hit a losing streak at some point. Devin Booker is questionable.
I would bet against them ever losing 2 games in a row this year. I would bet against that happening.
Probably that's probably a fair bet to make. Like, can you even bet? Like, I haven't even opened the FanDuel odds on them. Like, if I put $10 on them to win every game, what do I win at the end of the year? Like $3 with the odds?
Probably not much.
Not much, right?
I mean, they are in this game tomorrow night. Like, they are such heavy favorites in every single game. But on Wednesday night, if you go to FanDuel and check it out, they are 14.5-point favorites. They are minus 1,100 on the money line to win this game. That's what it is for them all the time. They will have more games this year, John, where they are favored by double digits than they are favored by single digits. That is outrageous.
So OKC is probably going to win that game. We just jinxed them. The Suns are going to win by 20.
Congratulations, Phoenix.
Congratulations, Phoenix. You're welcome.
Enjoy Vegas on us.
The late game, San Antonio and Los Angeles, no Victor Wembanyama. He is officially out with the left calf strain. He is right on the edge. I think he's got like 5 more games before he's no longer eligible for postseason awards. And at this point, even if he comes back, you got to think that he's going to miss 5 games.
He's not hitting 65.
There's no way he's hitting 65. So, but the rest of the Spurs are a scrappy bunch. Luke Cornett, former Celtic, is playing great, and the Lakers are not the best defensive team in the world. I give the Spurs a chance here in that late game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs just kind of like moved the ball, played great basketball, and found a way to squeak by the Lakers there. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I think the Spurs, and I know they just got Stephon Castle back, even without Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs are a good basketball team. Like, they have not had, at this point, it feels like they've not had Wemby for most of the season, unfortunately. I know he's still played a decent number of games, but I think even without Wemby, the Spurs are a very formidable team. They've got a lot of really good players. De'Aaron Fox has been awesome. Harrison Barnes at times has looked like he's back playing for Golden State again. He's been so good in certain situations for them. Luke Cornett, as you mentioned, is a big piece of what they want to do defensively. I think that he helps them out tremendously, and he's also a terrific screen setter that I do think opens up their offense. So if they have Wemby, which they don't in this game on Wednesday, but if they have Wemby, I think they're awesome. But even without him, like, they're still a good basketball team. They're a team that can win this game. I would pick the Lakers just because they've got Luka Doncic and the Spurs don't in this game. But the Spurs are no pushover here. Like, them winning this game would be zero surprise to me.
They're 8-3 in their last 11. They're Wemby went out, but they're still rolling. And some of that is the competition, but also they're playing well. They play basketball the right way, and that's just been a San Antonio thing. They just always play basketball the right way. I'll pick San Antonio in this one. I'll just and that's not just me, Boston, picking against the Lakers. I think that San Antonio's offense is good enough where the Lakers will struggle to defend that. If the Lakers win, they're going to have to outscore the Spurs, and it's going to have to be like they'll have to put up 130 points to win that game. They might do it. They're capable of doing it because of Luka and LeBron and all of that stuff, and Austin Reeves. Like, they're absolutely, if they win that 130 to 125, not a surprise to me. I just think that they're going to. I just think that they're going to give up a ton of points. I'll just go ahead and pick the Spurs. I'll just leave it.
I don't think that's that gutsy of a call, and I think a lot of this depends on what version of LeBron do we get.
I'm a hero. Let's move on.
What version of LeBron do we get? Do we get the LeBron that played against the Sixers last week, where he was awesome in that game, or do we get the LeBron that he made the right play against the Raptors, but kind of looked like he wasn't moving around all that well in the game that he played before that? Like, which guy where number 23 shows up tomorrow? I think he gets every benefit of the doubt because of his age, but if he's really good, Lakers are tough to beat. If he's not, they're a very beatable team.
2 days off. He had a great performance against Philly. 2 days off, national TV, showcase game. I think we get good LeBron. I think this is a shootout. Then. I think it's a shootout, and that's probably, you're probably right. But it's no fun. It's no fun unless I pick the Spurs.
You just can't pick LA.
I can't pick the Lakers. Come on. No. I think I'm justified in picking the Spurs. All right. I'm also justified in wrapping up this podcast. Thank you all. Thank you, Danny Cunningham from Locked On Cavs. Check out Locked On Cavs on a daily basis. I'm John Karalis from Locked On Celtics. You can hate listen to my show if you want. I know that's probably most people who are not Celtics fans or hate listening to my show. By all means, please do. I have a lot of fun things to say about the Celtics and Joe Mazzulla and all of that stuff, so you can hate listen. But this show is 7 days a week. Would love to have you here on a 7-day-a-week basis. That would make you an everydayer. If you're an everydayer, you can join our Everydayers Club. Hey, did this show make your Spotify Wrapped? show us your Spotify Wrapped, tag the Locked On National Show. If you do that, you'll get $5. You get a free month of our new Everydayers Club. Okay. To get to this Everydayers Club, you go to lockedonnba.supercast.com. Really, it's locked on whatever show you want, .supercast.com to join their Everydayers Club. $5 a month, $50 for the year. And if the show is on your Spotify Wrapped, you get a free month. So check that out. And then tell all your friends that they should be listening to this podcast, Locked On NBA Game Night. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time here on the Locked On NBA Game Night podcast.